This presentation focuses on the history of the Sisters of Providence and St. Mary of the Woods College. From its beginning until the present time, St. Mary of the Woods College core values, sustainability, eco-justice, spirituality, social justice, and gender equality, have supported the connection between the Sisters of Providence and the college. The program learning outcome that provides the foundation for this presentation is communication. Clearly articulate thoughts and ideas in written and oral forms by selecting the appropriate tools and media relative to the audience. The learning activities for Week 4 will help you achieve the student learning outcome. Explain the connection between the Sisters of Providence and St. Mary of the Woods College. The outcome for this presentation is students will discuss the history of the Sisters of Providence at St. Mary of the Woods College and the connection between the sisters and the college. The story of the Sisters of Providence at St. Mary of the Woods College began with the French Sisters of Providence from Rouy-sur-Loire, where St. Mother Theodore Guerin took her vows and was sent on a mission to teach in French schools. The Bishop of Vincennes, at the time, who was also a native of France, asked the French sisters to help educate pioneer children in Indiana. St. Mother Theodore and 5 other sisters arrived in Vincennes but were sent on to Terre Haute in 1840 to open an academy and a separate convent. From that time, they educated local girls and young women in the academy and increased the number of sisters at the mother house that they founded. Although the order was predominantly a teaching order, when the American Civil War began in 1860, Governor Oliver P. Morton requested the sisters to travel to Indianapolis to manage the city hospital. Led by Sister Athanasius Fogarty, whose tombstone is shown here, the sisters cared for the sick and wounded in the local hospitals and the camp. In her book, Nuns of the Battlefield, Jolly in 1927 described the work provided by women from religious congregations during the American Civil War. She writes, although many women delivered nursing care and skills on the battlefield, others, including the Sisters of Providence, here and in other hospitals or ship hospitals, in contagious wards, hopeless wards, in prisons, the nuns labored day and night, without discrimination and without complaint. They felt only compassion for the soldiers of the North and the South. They were all children of Christ, children sorely wounded in the game of life. That is all. In 2017, 7 of those sisters were honored for the services ministering as nurses during the Civil War. Their graves are at St. Mary of the Woods Cemetery with the inscription, Civil War Nurse. The Sisters of Providence are also honored by a monument in Washington, D.C. that was dedicated to the nuns of the battlefield of the Civil War. The monument is a bas-relief panel depicting nuns from 12 orders wearing their traditional habits who provided nursing care to the sick and wounded soldiers. A Sister of Providence is shown on the right side of the monument. The monument is a tribute to the more than 600 nuns who served during the war and was dedicated on September 20th, 1924. The Sisters of Providence at St. Mary of the Woods live out their message of love, mercy, and justice in prayer, education, service, and advocacy. At St. Mary of the Woods College, they practice sustainability through the White Violet Center for Eco-Justice that includes a herd of alpacas, a flock of chickens, a USDA certified organic garden, orchards, beehives, a farm store, and a nature trail. They offer classes on eco-justice and sustainability, cooking classes, and opportunities for internships and volunteering. Mother Theodora continued teaching until her death in 1856. She was first buried on the grounds at St. Mary of the Woods College, but in 1907 her remains were reburied in a crypt. She was canonized and approved for sainthood in 2006. Although the Vatican gave her a religious name, Saint Theodora Guerin, the Sisters of Providence refer to her as Saint Mother Theodore Guerin. In the early 1800s, there were limited educational opportunities for girls and young women. In fact, by 1850, there were only about 14 schools in the state of Indiana that educated females. There were more prospects for men to receive an education, particularly in colleges or universities. St. Mary of the Woods Convent and Academy was established by St. Mother Theodore Guerin in 1840 to educate young Catholic women living in the Terre Haute area. Most were immigrants who were limited in becoming educated by their access to schools. Between 1842 and 1856, the Sisters of Providence at the Terre Haute Convent opened 19 schools and orphanages that covered the state from Evansville to Vincennes to Fort Wayne. In 1846, after a return from her native country, France, Mother Theodore Guerin and the Sisters of Providence established a seminary of higher education for women at St. Mary of the Woods. Throughout its rich history, St. Mary of the Woods College has been a leader in educating first women and since 2015, men. Educational opportunities have increased to include undergraduate and graduate degrees in campus-based and online programs. And the sketch you see here is the original 1845 Academy for Women. From its inception, the college remains focused on its vision, mission, and values. These are connected to the mission and values established by its founder, St. Mother Theodore Guerin. The vision statement is St. Mary of the Woods College embodies a spirit of student-centered academic innovation, faith, and leadership to transform ourselves, our communities, and our world. The mission statement says, St. Mary of the Woods College empowers students to think critically, engage in lifelong leadership, and effect positive change in a spirit of service and social responsibility. The value statement declares, we follow in the footsteps of St. Mother Theodore Guerin in all that we do as we work to live out our Catholic values. The core values are highlighted here. Each of the core values is also highlighted in Woods Core 100. Social justice. We believe we are called to stand for others and to strive for learning that puts faith into action. During Week 5, your focus will look beyond yourself and into the community as you review community involvement, cultural differences, and diversity. Social justice is also highlighted in Week 7 when you review human rights, obligations to others, and citizenship. In spirituality, we provide opportunities for individual discovery of meaning and purpose at the intersection of faith and reason for the development and growth of the whole person. In Week 3, as you learn the value of liberal arts education, your focus was on the education of the whole person, including the social, moral, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of learning through liberal arts. Sustainability says we are committed to being leaders in environmental sustainability and in implementing environmentally sustainable practices, curricula, and programs. We model best practices and educate our community, helping individuals to become responsible citizens, contributing to the well-being of our campus and the health of the planet. This week, week 4, as you look at the history of the college, you will note that the previous statements support the importance that the Sisters of Providence placed on the values of sustainability and eco-justice. And finally, gender equality. We believe that individuals have the same rights, privileges, opportunities, and responsibilities to participate as productive citizens in society, regardless of gender or gender identity, as we embrace our legacy as a historic women's college. In week 1, as you began this journey into the woods, you looked at self, who you are, what your identity is, and you should have considered, are you equal to everyone else? Let's put it together. The connection between the Sisters of Providence and St. Mary of the Woods College is strong and powerful. The Sisters, led by St. Mother Theodore Guerin, established an academy that later became St. Mary of the Woods College, and a convent and mother house for future sisters. The traditions they created, the values that they honored, and the educational foundations that they began serve as a reminder of this connection. This is a list of the references that were used to prepare this presentation. Thank you for watching this video presentation.